everyone, and welcome to the Women Belong in Medicine podcast, where we will be diving into unfiltered and honest conversations that promote a better understanding in the healthcare field. This podcast is dedicated to empowering and supporting pre-health women on their journey towards becoming future healthcare providers. Whether it's pursuing careers in medicine, dentistry, nursing, or any other health-related field, we strive to provide a nurturing environment that empowers and uplifts aspiring female health professionals. In each episode, we will engage in candid discussions on a wide range of topics related to the healthcare field. So stay tuned for insightful conversations, advice, and a closer look at how the undergraduate American Women's Medical Association is making a difference in the pre-health landscape here at USF. Let's get to it. Hi guys, and welcome. I'm going to start off by introducing myself, and my name is Olivia Piascoe, and I'm the Vice President of the Undergraduate Women's Medical Association. And here I have a few of my e-board members with me, and they're just going to introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Esma. I will be graduating this semester. I'm majoring in biomedical sciences, minoring in psychology, and I am the events chair at UAMWA.
Hi everyone, my name is Isabella. I just graduated last fall. My major was in health sciences, and I am the treasurer of UAMWA.
Hi everyone, my name is Emma Aklu, and I am the secretary of UAMWA, and I just graduated last fall, and on to exciting new things.
Hello, my name is Kelly. I graduated from USF with my undergraduate degrees in biomedical sciences and psychology last May, and I'm currently a graduate student at USF studying medical sciences, and I'm the professional relations chair for UAMWA.
Ooh, fabulous. All right. So that is a part of our e-board. This episode is solely going to be the people on the e-board who either have graduated or who are, like Kelly said, is a graduate student, or if you already graduated. So we are going to talk about some of the lessons that we have learned throughout our 4 years of undergraduate and what is yet to come for us in the future. We're going to talk about maybe some advice or some wise words that we might have. We're just going to go with the flow. So, one thing to say, unfortunately, our president of the club was not able to make it tonight. Hopefully she'll be on one of the other episodes and she'll introduce herself. Her name is Bethany, and she is the president of our club. So hopefully she'll be on one of our other episodes and she'll introduce herself. So we have a theme for each episode that we are going to be doing, and the theme of this episode is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. And we're just gonna do a little talking about that. Emma, did you want to start off the conversation?
Sure. So, to shine some light on cervical cancer, as January being Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, a couple things to know about cervical cancer. It's a type of cancer that is definitely one of those that you can prevent and get some knowledge about. So there is an HPV vaccine that for cervical cancer that has been around since 2006. And since that time, the cervical cancer incidence rates have dropped significantly. And then in order for you to get that vaccine, you can go through screening. So you can do a series of Pap tests and HPV tests, and that can find problems in the early stages, so you can hop right on it to, go to the doctor and see whether you are eligible for a screening or whether to see if it's just a very mild condition for you. And from that, there are so many resources that you can learn with cervical cancer. You can hear experiences from different women, and the National Cervical Cancer Coalition offers a lot of resources for you to speak to survivors and to speak to advocates who are working to educate others. And with all of that, there are so many resources to not let this type of cancer get the better of you. So with advancement and with you acting early on, you can definitely educate yourself on this cancer and, combat it.
Oh, I love that.
And just to add on, so sorry,
No, you're good.
cervical cancer can actually be diagnosed and treated and cured if you do the pre-screenings, get tested at early stages. So being able to recognize those symptoms and seeking out medical advice to address any concerns you might have is a very critical step. So just want to let you guys know that it is a curable cancer if you do get treated early on.
Yes. I love that. See, I honestly, before this, I didn't really know a whole lot about cervical cancer until I did a little bit more research. So, thank you for that insightful stuff. So, I think we should move on to our guided questions. What do you guys think?
Let's do it.
All right, so I will say a question and you guys can just answer at your leisure. So to start off, we'll start off the conversation very simple. What if there were any tips you could give any other student either coming in or they're already in undergraduate, what tip would you give to them?
So, I think one giant tip, it's kind of a general tip I would give to a student coming into college in general, or a current student that's early on in their college, life, is to definitely take the first solid 2 semesters, first academic year, to truly reflect on what it is that you want to do, because someone such as myself, I was a major in biology and then I switched to health sciences and that's what I pursued. So it's something, and I didn't really realize that until I was through the first 2 semesters, that, this is because you look through the classes, you look through the requirements, and, even though there are certain things you need to do that are required for, it could be medical school, veterinary school, any type of graduate school, you still want to make sure that it's something you are passionate about. And to remember to have fun, enjoy it, because once it's over, it's over. That part of your life is, it's in the past. So you should enjoy, get involved, and don't be afraid to, meet new people and, be social. I'm an introvert, but at the same time, like, you will meet other introverts that will make you an extrovert. So, that's one thing I have a tip for, I think a current student and for, future students that are coming in, and just be open to the many possibilities in the world.
Oh, 100%. I will second that. So if you guys don't already know, I went to community college my first 2 years, and then I transferred to USF. So my first 2 years at community college, it was obviously at a smaller school. I played soccer, and I was living the life, but I didn't really, I knew I had the end goal in mind, but I just wasn't really thinking about my future. I was thinking about that moment in time. So, but then once I transferred to USF, I was like, okay, I have to get my mindset on track and actually be able to think about my future and what I want and what I want to do. So that's very good advice. I agree with you on that 100%. So, Issa, do you have any thoughts, or Esma?
Yeah, so I also transferred from a community college. So I feel like during those first 2 years, I don't know, at least for me, I knew I was in college, but at the same time, since it was so small and there weren't a lot of resources available, it was just kind of those first 2 years were just kind of like, okay, I just need to get this done so that I can go to a place where I will actually have an opportunity to do the things that I want to do. And I feel like that's probably the case for most people who transfer, because I know USF also has a lot of transfer students. So, and then once you get to USF, at least once I got to USF, there's already all these opportunities. Like, I remember getting an email for this pre-health advising specifically for transfer students if they're pre-med, and it helped me out a lot. And just all the clubs that are available. One advice I would get to someone who's just starting out or someone who's just transferred is to go on the Bulls Connect and look for any and all clubs that you're interested in. Just me joining UAMWA opened up a lot of doors for me. I was able to get some volunteering opportunities and also meet so many lovely people who I still talk to today after I graduated, and I'm so grateful that they were part of my journey. So I recommend everyone to just kind of go out and, like Emma said, go meet new people, because you never know what could happen.
Yes, oh my gosh, that is really good advice. Yeah, when I first got to USF, I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do? Because I got no guidance. So I really had to dig deep and like go into, per se, I had to ask some people about what the heck I was supposed to do, because like club wise, I was like, what should I join and what other resources can I do, and like were there any volunteering resources that I could do, or just things like that. So that's really good advice to stay on top of, like as soon as you get here, you look into that stuff. So
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to that. I mean, as a first generation student, I didn't have like anyone to lean on in my family to ask for advice. So what I did was I just went around and asked guidance right when I got accepted into USF. The first step is always to ask help if you need it, and just to take advantage of any opportunities that come by. I mean, if you see a club that interests you or something that you want to try, go for it, because now's the time to explore and try new things out. So I think that was the biggest thing for me. Everything was new to me, but I always looked up to my peers in my class. I asked my classmates, I asked my professors about any questions I had, my advisors. And so I think that's what made college an exciting time for me, was being able to step out of my comfort zone and joining all these clubs and going to these events that they host on campus sometimes, meeting new people. I think it's all something that's really exciting and something that worthwhile.
yeah, I agree 100%. It's definitely important to make the connections early, because it just benefits you later on. One thing that I say to a lot of people is like, you have to be the one to go out and create those opportunities for yourself, because at the end of the day, like in my experience, nothing really came to me unless I went out and I found it myself. So definitely going out and getting those resources is definitely important, and to create those opportunities for yourself are very important too. So Kelly, do you have any thoughts? Sorry, did I cut you off? I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
Okay.
No, I just think I agree, absolutely, like 100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you don't have any thoughts, we'll move on to the next question. So another question that we could talk about is one big thing for me, I think is really important, is the study habits that I had. And I will 100% say that I am still working on different ways to study. So,
Yes.
yeah, so for you guys, how were you able to create certain study habits for each semester, and was there anything that you had to change in your schedule to make more time for studying?
For me,
Go, Issa.
Okay, sorry. For me, what I think helped me out a lot was kind of organizing my schedule and seeing how my day would be going. Just honestly, like, organization is very important, because if you have no idea what's going on in your day to day and you're just kind of winging things, yeah, it could help you for a little bit, but then, like, suddenly you have an exam tomorrow that you didn't know about, and it's like, oh dang, I didn't study for it. So kind of organizing, putting things on a calendar or writing things down in a planner, and then kind of working out your schedule and being like, hey, I have this time free, like 5 p.m. on a Tuesday, so I can use this time to study for an exam that I have next week, or start a project, or an assignment or essay, anything like that. So I think planning ahead helped a lot for me to study and stuff.
No, I agree on that 100%. Another thing, like, I had to learn very quickly was to be able to time manage. And I thought I was so good at time managing until I transferred here to USF. And then I started getting involved in volunteering, and I had so many classes and homework and tests, and then I joined clubs. Like, time managing is so important, and if you are able to get that down early, like, kudos to you, because I'm still learning. Yeah.
I think, I mean, I was also one of those students. I did like the AAA program.
Mhm.
So whenever my first 2 years of college, but my last 2 years of high school, it was when the pandemic happened. And I used to be like such a bookworm. Like, I studied so amazing, but then COVID hit, and like it was Socratic, it was Google, it was like I completely forgot about all of my study habits. And then my first semester of transferring to USF was the first semester back from COVID. And that semester slapped me like a baloney. Like, it was so hard, because, you know, you're used to like these 30 kids in these classrooms, and then you move to like classrooms with 150 to 200 kids. Like, what? And like, you're like dumbfounded. So it took me a long time. It took me maybe honestly, it took me like 3 semesters. I didn't really honestly find a proper study habit until I met like the right people, until I met people that motivated me, because I noticed that I used to be a study person by myself, but you get older, you change, your personality changes. So I changed with that, and I noticed that like when you study with others, and then you guys, like, you know, you put in your AirPods or whatever, like, you have silence, and then randomly you have 30-minute chat breaks. Like, your brain is more susceptible to absorb the information that you're learning, you know. And I mean, like you said, Olivia, balancing is key, and like Issa said, organizing is key.
Yes.
Because you know, you can be like you can look like that woman that has everything put together, but mentally everything is falling apart. Like, it looks like your entire life is put together, which I tried to do that for like, I think the first year at USF. Like, I wanted to look like everything was in order, but like, if you could imagine my brain, it was like the minion from Despicable Me running around saying beep. So organizing, you just have to go, and I don't think there's like a particular way to organize. I think you have to go through your own obstacles, figure out what works best for you, and go what fits you the best, because there is not just one way of organizing that fits everybody. Absolutely not. Like, it's just, there's ways that you can be similar, but it's not the exact. So I think the best tip I can even say for studying, try all the methods, just see what works for you, modify them, and do what you're comfortable with in terms of studying, because that's how you'll succeed.
100%. And you know, it's also like another thing too, some advice that I got also was like, an undergraduate is taking 4 to 6 classes, maybe less, maybe more, whatever, every semester, and each class is different. So, like, having one thing I've been told is you're not going to study the same way for every single class. Like, I am taking biochemistry right now, and I study way differently for biochemistry than I do for physics, or that I do for anatomy and physiology. So, like,
Absolutely.
yeah, like you said, developing like different study habits or different ways that you study is important, because then you can incorporate those different study habits or ways into different classes.
Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, study habits, they kind of change with every class you take or every course you take. I mean, you have your biology and anatomy classes that kind of demand you to memorize a lot, and then you have classes like chemistry and orgo, which just require you to do a lot of practice problems. So your study habits kind of evolve each year. And then I would say also just knowing how to manage your time is a big one. Being able to prioritize your tasks and being able to create a realistic schedule, not making like putting so much on your plate, but making it into smaller tasks is the way to go. I mean, study habits, it's something that we all work on, but eventually you get to a point where you know what's right for you. You know what type of learner you are. If you're a visual person, or if you're an auditory learner. So knowing more about yourself helps you learn how to study.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think a big thing that like one like key detail I feel like with studying is like being consistent. Like it doesn't matter how you study or what you do, but you have to do it like every day. Like you have to start early. Like you can't cram, you can't wait, and like as long as you're doing it consistently, even if it's for 20 minutes a day, like that will add up over time versus spending like 6 hours. So just being on top of it will like help you a lot.
100%.
Yep.
And it also like burnout. I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but like if I study for 6 hours without taking a break, like I am dead. Like I my brain doesn't function. So, I forgot what I was gonna say, but oh, another thing too is using your resources through USF. Like, so when I first got here, I struggled a lot in chemistry and biology and stuff like that. And then I was told that there was tutoring, especially for chemistry. So I was like, oh, cool, like, where's it at and everything. And I didn't know that there was tutoring at the library at the time. And so I went there, and it was very useful and very helpful. And ever since then, like, I've gone in there every once in a while when I really needed help. But like, utilizing your resources, especially when it comes to like studying, whether it's people or it's study groups or it's online resources, it's definitely important to like use those.
100%.
So I think we can move on to the next question. Let's see. This is a good one. It's kind of more towards personal towards you guys. So during your 4 years, were there any skills that you picked up or any activities that you liked doing?
Honestly, for me, the one thing, okay, it wasn't like the one thing, but it was like one of the main things that I enjoyed doing at USF. And I'm not just saying it because I'm on the e-board or anything, but like being part of UAMWA, or because this is like for the UAMWA podcast, but like being in UAMWA, being on the e-board, getting to know everyone. I feel like out of a lot of the things that I did during my 2 years at USF, it really helped me, not only because there are a lot of resources and volunteer opportunities and stuff like that, but you also get to meet so many like-minded people who they have like their different goals, but at the end of the day, we all just want to help each other out. And it's just I love how we can just go to a GBM and just talk to each other. Just girls being girls, trying to help each other out. I just love that. It was honestly like one of the highlights of my day whenever we'd have like a meeting or like an event and going out with the girls and like suturing and stuff like that. So it's one of like the memories that I'll cherish the most during my time at USF.
And you made close friends.
Exactly, I did. So
it's wonderful.
I think that I honestly say that I was at a disadvantage because I wish I had the 4-year experience. Like I wish I had like the full 4 years, but like during when everything's condensed, I mean, it was really hard. The first year at USF was really hard. It was hard for me to achieve the grades I wanted because I went from being like a straight A student to like starting to accept C's and to accept like because I wasn't giving it my best. So for me to just achieve that, I had to figure out like what makes me happy, and that's when I was trying to find, clubs, and you have all these like artificial clubs that they're just not real. They're very filtered. They just weren't fitting for me. Like they didn't fit my schedule, they didn't fit my personality. But I mean, even though this is for the UAMWA podcast, like Issa said, like finding UAMWA was a big and I found UAMWA through Olivia, which like that, and that's something we said earlier about connections. Yeah. Finding Olivia like led me to like so many other students and so many other like women. Obviously, like we get along with each other, but like the women that have the same interests, like you understand ambition, you understand, free time, you appreciate that nap. A nap is like a date. Like that's what that's mature is realizing that. But UAMWA like yeah. Like but UAMWA it brought a lot of happiness and a lot of light into my life, and it gave me purpose. Like it made me fall more in love with the profession that I want to go into. So I think like during your time, whether it's short, whether it's long, explore all of the clubs, explore things that are outside of USF. There's a lot in USF, but let's just say you're one of those people that cannot find something in USF. There are so many organizations out of USF, you will find something that is fitting for you. I'm pretty sure they have an introvert club at USF, honestly. Like there's so many clubs. Like you'll find something meant for you that you will feel comfortable with, because at the end of the day, whenever you're gonna be so busy with school and then you see that there's an event and it has nothing to do with school, it has just to do with you having fun and you being involved in something that you enjoy. And it brings a lot of happiness. It brings you a lot of, it gives you serenity. It gives you just that peace that you're looking for, along with, trying to balance that crazy schedule. So, I mean, UAMWA did that for me. That for me. It gave me a lot of happiness. I met all these cool women that are going to be big people in the future. And it's an amazing thing. That's one thing I probably would say I had trouble achieving, but I achieved it by exploring. So that for sure.
That's awesome. I love that. No, I definitely agree with everything you guys have said. Like when I first got here, I am definitely one of those people that likes to be busy quite a bit. And I've always had trouble like knowing when to like just relax and just take a second. And I think these past 2 years have really taught me to like go at it and find the opportunities for yourself, but don't forget to take at least a day for yourself, or to do something that you enjoy at least for 30 minutes every single day. Like it's so important to do something that you love, because other than that you just get lost. Yeah. In my experience at least. So it's definitely important to find what you enjoy. And when I first got here, joining UAMWA was a really big thing for me, because I loved being surrounded by all of you guys. And then I joined another club, and there was a lot of volunteering opportunities through that club, and I love giving back to my community, so that was a really big thing for me that I enjoy doing, and I still do it to this day, whether it's through the other club that I'm in or not. So it's definitely this past 2 years definitely taught me to be kinder to myself. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to remember, like, I've been here all 4 years, but it's important to remember that, like, you are more than just your career or your aspirations or things you want to go through. And, like, you're never going to be 19 again. You're never going to be 20. Like, yes, you have all these goals and you should try to achieve them, but, like, live in the moment. Like, you're never going to have this time to yourself. Like, college is such a unique experience. And just to remember, like, now is the time, like, to go and do things, and that, like, yes, medical school will still be there. All those great things, like, they will happen. But, like, also remember to, like, live your life. And, like, it's okay to, like, do things that aren't just, like, oh, I need this for a resume. Like, do things for you. And that's what's going to make you, like, different and feel more like a person.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. That's honestly such great advice, because sometimes well, some people that I've talked to, they always forget to, like, slow down and actually, like, be in the moment instead of, like, worrying about the future. And don't get me wrong, I do the same thing. Are you kidding me? I do the same thing. It's always nice to have someone there to remind you, whether it be in UAMWA, because you're surrounded by people who either have the same goal as you or just want to see you succeed, or it's someone who just supports you in general to tell you to slow down. I think that's very important. Well said, Kelly. Well said.
For sure.
Absolutely.
All right. We can get to another question, and then we could probably start wrapping things up. So another question that I have for you guys is, are there any goals that you will still be working towards after your 4 years or your 2 years? So, after you're graduated. Well, you guys are graduated, but, like, you know what I mean.
Well, right now for me, my goal is to get a job and study for the MCAT. Fun.
You guys sound more enthusiastic. Come on.
Listen,
You gotta fake
I'm
it.
excited, but it's like Kelly said, like, during those years you're in college, it's like you only live once. I was able to, like, do so many things that, I don't know about you guys, but in my Hispanic household, like, going out at 8 p.m. No, you can't do that. Are you crazy? But, like, while being in college, I was able to, like, go out and be like, hey, y'all want to get some ramen or something at, like, 11 p.m. So, but I am excited. It's a new chapter in my life. I will have more time to really focus on studying for the MCAT and getting a job to be able to pay for my future endeavors and stuff, because medical school is not cheap. So
No, it is not.
but yeah, listen, don't get me wrong, I am excited, and the journey might be a little rocky, but we're working towards it. So
Yeah. Issa, what do you want to do? You want to be obviously a physician, but do you know what type of doctor you want to be?
yeah, so I want to do surgery, specifically cardiothoracic surgery. Oh my god, yes.
Cardio, not cardio, but surgery.
Yeah.
Emma too.
Yes, true. Yeah, Emma and I were talking before graduation about that. But yeah, cardiothoracic surgery. If y'all who are listening, if you guys want to do surgery, yay, join the gang.
Yes. So much. Well, I know who to go to if I ever have any heart problems in the future.
Listen, I've heard that I have pretty good hands to get into small places, so
Well, that's perfect.
I feel like, I don't know, someone said that my hands are pretty good for surgery because sometimes you have to, like, get in there.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Lisa, are you like a meticulous person? Like, do you like working with your hands?
I do. I love working with my hands. I prefer doing a lot more hands-on things, and I learn better if I'm doing the task.
Yes, I agree.
And I'm not squeamish to blood, so.
But, hey, that's a plus.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
plus.
decent. Real quick, let's go around and let's say like what we want to do for a profession, if you know what you want to do. Emma, do you want to go?
Sure.
Okay.
So, as of right now, I definitely want to be a physician, definitely want to be a surgeon, and I definitely want to work in pediatrics. I love peds, I love children. They make me feel bubbly, giggly, and they give me more of a drive.
Yeah.
And as per a specialty, definitely not neuro. Oh my god. I don't think you should trust me with that. No brain, no. I'm barely functioning on my brain. I cannot work on someone else's brain. Like that's just not. It's like putting oil and water together. No, it's fabulous, but you know, I'm a very meticulous person. Like sewing, I love sewing. Like a lot of people have told me like my needlework it's pristine. Like it looks like so good, which I enjoy it. Like I enjoy doing anything with my hands. I talk with my hands a lot. I mean, like there's just it's a I think, but general surgery I have started to found like a love with, because I feel like it will be cool for me to be like something new every day. You know, let's say you have like 4 or 5 cases a day. Let's say you have, you know, maybe a couple appendix surgeries, maybe a couple of this type of surgery. Like, how fun would that be? Like something different. It's not the same thing, and it's more, even though like I swear my brain is like the brain of a goose. Like I don't even know why I sometimes try to do such hard things, but I like that it's challenging. I like to challenge myself. Like I want to see what I'm capable of, because I feel like the sky's the limit. So like that intrigues me the most. So I know when I go to medical school, you know, I will discover all of the other specialties, but general has been my calling most recently.
Perfect. What about you, Esma?
For me, because I am graduating a little bit earlier on schedule, I think that I'll be spending my year just exploring, doing a lot more shadowing, maybe working too. Throughout my college career, I guess, I had the opportunity to work as a medical assistant, and I really loved it. I learned about how, I learned hands-on, so I learned how to triage patients. I got to inject medications. I got to assist one time in a procedure. So I mean, for me, it was like, I know I want to work something in the healthcare field. I just don't know what yet. So for me, like I'll be spending that year just exploring, and hopefully I'll find my calling for a more specific career. But for now, I know that it's something I want to be able to work in the healthcare field, and I want to be able to treat all walks of life, not just children. I do love children, but I also want to be able to have patients in the elderly stage and as adults. So I just want to work on everyone, and yeah, I think that's it for me.
Beautiful answer. What about you, Kelly?
I can say that getting 3 degrees in 5 years is a little tiring, and I'm very excited for a break in between. Not that I haven't loved everything I've learned, but definitely feeling a little burnt out. So I'm going to, I think, enjoy working a job as whatever I can in like the healthcare field, and like just having that time to myself and like recharging before like getting into medical school, because I definitely didn't want to do it all straight and really like burn out halfway through. For a profession, I don't know what specialty. I have an idea of a couple I like, and I know what things I don't like. Like I do not want to be a surgeon. I do not want to dedicate my whole life to that. Shout out to all you that want to, but that's not my calling. Or dermatology, I can pass out. So those two I know are kind of off the table for me. But I think it's good that I'm going in with an open mind, you know. I've heard that to start medical school, that to not have a specialty or not know what you want to do, because you're going to change your mind like 10 times anyway. So I'm just going to fully embrace that and figure it out when I get there.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea.
That's so true. I mean, like, all of us are saying a specialty, but like we'll get in there and then do it and then be like, you know what, never mind. Actually, medical school probably not for me.
Yeah, no, literally.
I mean, I think I definitely missed that part of like answering the question because I go on tangents. I'm sorry. But I wanted to add, after graduation, I think I'm took this month off to honestly catch up on maybe like the last 3 years of sleep. And then I'm gonna start working a job, and I don't know exactly what I want to do yet. I kind of want to see where people advise me to go. I'm just gonna apply, have a broad vision to see, but something hands-on that I'm working with the position. And I had a plan, like academically, and maybe like the perfect Emma would have said I'm applying to medical school this year, which was my plan a year ago. I said I was applying to medical school for this year.
Yeah.
But that plan, I threw it out the window like a paper airplane, because I think it's really important to appreciate the time you're in of your age, your life. And it's important that even though medical school, there's never the perfect time, but you should mentally be ready. And I want to mentally be completely ready to mentally be distraught. Like, I want to be 100% there to give 100% of myself. I know that 100% is going to decrease over time. I mean, come on. But at the same time, I want to be like a full battery. Like, I want to be ready. I want to be excited to absorb all of these new, experiences. So, I think this year, like after this, it's MCAT is March 22nd. So that's my exciting part of the year. Hooray. Right after that, if I have to take the MCAT again, that's fine. Like, I've taken so many exams over, like, it's just another exam. I'm not worried. I'm not gonna, like, kill myself. Like, how many exams have we all taken in 4 years? What's another exam? It's just 8 hours. Just combine all of the other exams. So, but yeah, that's my plan.
I find it pretty cool how, like, we're all on different parts of our journey. I mean, we have, I think Kelly and Issa and Emma all have finished their college career. I know Kelly's in grad school. Issa and Emma just graduated, and then me and Olivia, we're still out here suffering, but we'll get there. But I mean, I think it's just cool. We're all just at different parts of the journey. I mean, there's no rush. I feel like everybody has like a like they think, okay, like 4 years of college, and then right after 4 years of medical school, and then 3 years of residency. I mean, it's okay to take time to reflect, and like Kelly said, I'm gonna relax right after I finish her master's degree. I mean, it's okay to want to take a break and reflect before you continue on your journey, if that's what you want to do. Take a gap year, work.
Take two.
For a little bit. Yeah, take two. Whatever you want. I mean, everybody's doing their own thing, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, I feel like, especially if you're first year or just now getting into college, or even like halfway in your journey, because like honestly, until I started attending the GBMs where actual like physicians were coming to talk to us and stuff, which y'all should come to the GBMs if you haven't, but like before speaking to like med students and like a physician, I thought, whoa, I need to do undergrad and then study for the MCAT during my junior year and then get into med school, because if not, then no one's gonna want me. I'm gonna end, like, that's it, my career as a physician is over. But then like going to that first GBM and hearing that doctor talk and her being like, hey, honestly, it's better if you take a gap year than if you just go straight into med school and do what you love. I was like, oh wow. And just like talking to med students, I was volunteering at the Pete's clinic in downtown, and I was talking to like third year med students, or like people doing the residency, and they're like, yeah, I took 2 years off. I was a middle school teacher getting money, and then I applied for med school, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I asked there's a resident there, and I was like, yeah, like, what about you? He's like, I took my 2 years off during residency. So if there's one thing I would tell you, definitely take a gap year if you can. I definitely recommend it. And I know there's like a lot of information, especially if you're like on Reddit or like if you go on YouTube and they're like, yeah, you need a 4.0 GPA because if you don't, then you're not getting into med school. No, like that is not true.
There's so many things that like I've heard, like you said, 4.0 GPA, like you have to have volunteering, you have to have clinical hours, you have to have shadowing, you have to volunteer, like all this other stuff, like for med school. I don't know how it is for other programs, but like I've been told a bunch of times, like you need straight A's to even remotely get your application looked at. And that freaked me out. That freaked me out a lot. Are you kidding me? And I am guilty of this. Like when I first got here, like I had that mindset of like I was checking off boxes of like, oh, okay, well I volunteered, check, and I shadowed, check. I was doing that. And then I came to a realization one day and I was like, well, I am not going to be happy like this, and I'm probably won't get into med school like this. So it's crazy the stipulation that like is on the med school application process and like what you have to do beforehand just to even get in. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think that all of us can sit here, like, I mean, for all of those that are going to listen to it, break those crazy norms. Like, just break it. Like, take gap years. C's are okay because, you know, when a board is going to look at you as an applicant, and I've heard this from, I've talked to about 4 members on the board of medical schools, and they all told me, they're like, if we look at your application and it's not perfect, tell us why it's not perfect. Like, explain to it. Just as long as that's the best reflection of you and you show that upward trend of like, hey, like, yeah, I had a rough couple semesters, but I improved and I was mentally myself. Because if you keep jumping and jumping, like, you know, you go from 4 years, another 4 years, another 3 years, you're not going to be a human by the time you're going to be a doctor. Like, you need to be yourself. So break those norms. Like, let's do it.
Slow down. Slow down. And honestly, I feel like I don't specifically know like how other programs are for like PA or I can't, like, nursing or something like that. Like, genuinely, I feel like it goes beyond just med school, like just in general. Like I feel like it's more accepting now to like actually take a second and actually love yourself and care for yourself. So never forget that. Even you guys, never forget that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, okay, well, I want to say what I want to do in the future. We got into like a whole tangent. Sorry, guys. So I want to be a surgeon too. I want to go to med school. If all of you listeners haven't caught on, I've always been interested in going into neurosurgery, but the more that I have done shadowing or the more I have learned about the medical field, the sky's the limit, and I think that I need to not be so head on to like close off my options so early. So I've opened up my options, and I, like Emma said, general surgery has really taken my interest, but I also love children. So pediatrics is like you, Emma. Okay, we're similar.
Yes.
I love kids too, so pediatrics is definitely like an interest of mine. Another thing too that I actually like recently have taken a keen interest in also is oncology. It's a very sad field, but I feel like it's very like life-changing. Like being a doctor all around could be very life-changing, but I feel like the field of oncology, it's sad, but it's very it has its ups and its downs, and I just feel like it would be really interesting to look into and possibly be an oncology surgeon. So, yeah. That's what I want to do.
Very
Sorry.
cool.
Beautiful.
Had to take a little second for myself, guys. Okay.
Good for you.
It's all about loving myself, remember?
Love
right.
yourself. That's right.
Hey, you should love yourself.
You should. It's important. In 4 years, you need to learn how to love yourself. That's another thing you need to add on your list of classes.
Yes.
So,
Definitely. Add that to your list of things for advice. Love yourself. All right. I think we could maybe get in one more question that's maybe a little bit more of a reflection. We can end with more of a reflection of graduating and me and Esma graduating, stuff like that, and then Kelly as a graduate student. So you've already been out in the real world. So all right. So my question to you guys is, why is it so important to reflect on the things that have happened in your life? Whether it be in school or it be in your personal life or emotionally or towards yourself, in every aspect per se.
I think it's important. It's very important to reflect on yourself because, I mean, during these last 4 years, there's just been so much that has happened. Like, you know, for me, like, I started college and then a couple of months later, COVID hit and I was just locked in my room for the first 2 years of college, and then suddenly coming back on campus and doing all these things. So it was very important for me to reflect, not only to not make the same mistakes as I did before, but also kind of like on my mental health. There are things that during quarantine and stuff like that I did that I probably could have done better, especially when it came to my mental health and handling things, because I'm pretty sure everyone struggled a lot during that time, being isolated, not being able to go out and stuff. And even though it's been like almost 4 years now, 2 years since we've been able to like get out now, like that still is affecting people now. You know, people aren't able to like go out and socialize as before. So I feel like sitting down and reflecting, trying to see if what your goals during or beginning university is the same thing as you want to do now. You go through so many changes, you meet a lot of people, you go through so many experiences that maybe what you thought you wanted to do before isn't what you want to do. So it's very important that once you get here, that you reflect and you see if what you want to do it is what you want for your future, because it's a long life and we're living longer. So I bet all of us would rather do things that we love and enjoy doing than just doing things that we'd hate.
Yes, love that. Go ahead, Esma. Or Emma.
No, Asma, go ahead.
Emma, go ahead.
So for me, I mean, I think, so when I first started college in 2020, I mean, COVID just had its own episode on every human being. I lost 2 members that year. I lost my brother and I lost my great aunt. And then that year, it took, like, that was the first time I've ever experienced, also in the midst of college, like, losing someone. I've never lost someone close to my circle. Yeah. So that took a toll on me for a lot longer than I thought. I mean, it made me close up. It made me like very cold to the world. So then I graduated spring of 21, you know, COVID graduations, love those. And when I had that, I mean, I had the summer off, you know, living life, came to USF, and then I went through, I think, that time that every young woman experiences, which is a time where you're just so lost at such a young age. But like you're doing something, you're physically in school, you're physically doing something, but you know, maybe go through, you know, depression. And there's something called as seasonal depression. It's a real thing, that it's not just a myth. You know, I went through that on my own, and then, you know, lost some more members of my family. Every year I always like lost members in my family. So I mean, that made me reflect on ensuring that whatever I want to do in my life, I will work toward it. You know, medical school will always be there, but when I started the whole medical school journey, like from even, you know, getting my associates, I was like, you know, I remember I got a roadmap in high school, and I was like, I'm gonna follow that roadmap like one by one, and that roadmap, I altered it to how I do it, because I think it's important you do what's best for yourself. And in the midst of all that, I mean, it sounds super cheesy, but like, you really do have to love yourself. Like, it's really important, because when you're going through something really tough, maybe you can look in the mirror and you'll smile because you're liking what you see, or you make yourself laugh. Like, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes that I'm just by myself, I literally make myself hysterically laugh. I don't know, maybe I'm psycho in my head. I don't know. I make myself.
That's great.
It's like, that's something that, like, it's so important, and I know it's being normalized more and more, but sometimes it's often, you know, transferred into an idea of you being selfish because you are loving yourself. It's really not. You are putting yourself first. You are making sure that your mental health is there. And I think a major thing that I will say is I reflected on, because I used to be one of those people pleasers. And I mean, to an extent, I still am, like, especially if it's like a job, a duty, or whatever, but don't care what, I mean, it's important to care what other people think about you, but in negative connotations, don't care what people think about you. It's only going to hurt you more if you care about what people think about you. Because society is not perfect, you know? It's not the society we live in. You know, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that will just try to bring you down so they can succeed. And, you know, that if you keep, you know, the purity in your heart, your kindness, you spread that love, I mean, that's something that you should make. If you're a young person and you're like listening to this, like, don't care what other people think about you. If there are people around you that you're surrounded by that just give you positivity and love, those are your people. Like, that's the people you surround yourself with. Exactly. Like, just don't care. And that's something it took me like maybe a solid 2.5 years to put my foot down and be like, you know what, Emma, you have a voice. You can tell people when their opinion is not needed, you know, when this is unappreciative. Like, stand up for yourself, love yourself, and reflect on your past to make yourself happier in the future. Don't be perfect on paper. Be perfect to yourself, because we have one life to live, and we should enjoy every single day to the point where you wake up to the next day and you're excited to see what awaits you. That is what I would have to say.
Wow.
That was amazing.
That was,
Yeah, that deserves,
that deserves claps. You should be a motivational speaker. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, put that on your resume, because that was really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think that it's
Now it's you, Asma.
okay. I'll go. I don't know if it'll be good, but I'll go.
Yeah.
But, I mean, reflecting, it's super important to reflect, and being able to reflect on these past couple of years is so important, because that's how we're able to learn from our mistakes, but it's also how we're able to recognize our personal growth. I mean, I think when I was a freshman, I graduated 2021 too, and it was just a big, overwhelming step to be a junior in high school, have COVID happen, and then all of a sudden you're a freshman in college. So it was overwhelming, but I took it one day at a time, I think, and eventually I found my place. I found this club. You know, I joined a bunch of clubs, and then I ended up finding this one, and it aligned more with with my goals and my aspirations. And I found a lot of great women with the same mindset. So I'm very grateful for this experience, being a part of UAMWA. But yeah, I think that learning to find your balance between your academic journey and your personal journey is super important as well. I've learned to incorporate more self-care. That's a big one.
Love yourself.
And yes, of course. And doing fun things and being able to kind of learn about more about yourself. I think that like our 20s, like this time is so rare and so special. It's the time where we get to learn more about ourselves, more about the world, what we want to do, just being able to explore, honestly, just a big thing that I am grateful to do now that I'm in college, but hopefully I continue to explore more. And yeah, I think I don't know, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have made it so far, and now we're graduating and it's going to be such a bittersweet moment, but I'm ready to close that chapter of my life and move on to something exciting and new. So, yeah.
That's
That was
amazing.
great, Esma.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Really good.
What about you, Kelly?
I think my biggest takeaway advice, or if I could tell 18-year-old Kelly anything, is don't compare yourself to others. Like, you'll figure it out. Like, it's okay. Like, especially like I was in the honors college, like lived with a bunch of honors kids. Everyone kind of knew what they wanted to do with their life, and I like didn't really know. Had a lot of like things I had to like figure out. So I always like definitely like fell victim to that, and like definitely had me like paralyzed for a while, especially like and COVID happening my first year, like also didn't really help because like you really did not get to see things move forward. But like you'll get there, you'll be fine. Like everyone else is gonna like have their own life, and that's okay. And like the path that you're on, like the things that you do, like it's all meant to be, and it's all gonna happen the way it's supposed to anyway. So like don't worry that you're not like this person or like doing all these other things. Like you're going to be okay, and like soon it'll be over. So like make sure like take time and enjoy it. Just like keep living life and just like keep wanting to move forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's really good, Kelly.
That was really good.
I agree with them. I think like what's meant for you will come to you. So don't stress about the future and just be in the present for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's definitely hard to do sometimes also, which is why it is important to have a great support system. And here at UAMWA, we are a very great support system for you.
Absolutely. That's 100%.
We always have to put in the promo.
Yeah, no, literally. Just piggybacking off of what all of you guys said, I honestly think it's one of the most important things to do is to reflect on everything you've done in your academic journey and in your personal journey. Because I don't know about you guys, but I have made quite a bit of mistakes, whether that be in school or in my personal life. But reflecting has definitely taught me to learn from my mistakes, just so I don't repeat them, or just to understand what I need to do differently next time. And it's definitely helped me emotionally, and it's definitely helped me emotionally mature quite a bit. I'm pretty sure that's probably from experiences, but I just think in general that reflecting is very good for your personal growth and for academic growth also. So yeah. So we can wrap this up, but we're gonna take it to a little bit of a serious note. And Isa, if you want to explain what we do here at UAMWA, you have the floor.
Yes. Okay, so basically, UAMWA, what do we do here? So we provide a support network for students during their pre-health journeys, whether it be, listen, it can be any pre-health journey, whether you're a pre-med, pre-PA, pre-nursing student. We have so many resources and opportunities. I know there are also some pre-dental students who are interested, and we are doing some research on that. So if you're pre-dental, you're welcome here too. And we are welcome to all USF pre-health students who identify as women to our club. So if you're a person who identifies as a woman, you are welcome. A couple of things: meetings are held bi-weekly, and we also hold some socials and some group volunteering events. We also have some fundraisers that we do, like boba and Chipotle, very tasty. We also offer service opportunities. We also have a mentorship from USF Morsani medical students, something very cool. We also have MCAT prep and application prep materials. Shout out to Sketchy, who is the company we're working with for MCAT prep. And we will actually be having a meeting, or it already happened when this comes out.
It will probably already happen by the time this comes out.
Yes, well, you guys will know. So shout out to them.
Just be on the lookout.
Yeah, exactly. we'll have them back again at some point too. So
Yeah.
we also have some job opportunities, and we're just a very cool, chill, but also hardworking group of women. And it's a community where we all are striving to offer our members opportunities, and just a place for everyone to just come together and
Succeed.
work. Exactly.
And have a good time, always.
And have a good time.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly.
Listen, we're serious when it needs to be serious, but also we all need to take a chill pill sometimes, so let's be honest.
True that. Honestly. I also think like UAMWA is definitely good at like we're good at giving resources, but we're also good at like grounding people. Like I know a lot of students, like they come into our club and they're like, oh well, I need to have this and I need to have that, like we were talking about earlier, like well on the application, or like people have told me that we need to have a 4.0 GPA, like this, I need to have shadowing or whatever. Like I feel like we're really good at grounding people and telling them like, you're here, like just live right now, you're here, it's okay, we're here to help. So
yes.
Yeah.
And we are not the only ones who will tell you. Let's say you guys are like, y'all are just undergrad girls, what do you guys know? We have at our meetings, we have physicians who come and speak, and they say basically the same thing. And also in November, we usually have our Women in Medicine event, which is our biggest event, where we invite 9 panelists to come speak. And it's a very fun opportunity for our members, because you get to interact with a bunch of women who are very successful in their field of health. And yeah, they give a lot of very good advice. Last fall we had an RNA, some med students, some PA students, and some doctors who came and spoke. So
And a pharmacist.
yes, and a pharmacist. So we're very diverse because, you know, health and medicine isn't only just physicians and nurses. There's just so many things you can do in medicine that's not just that. So
yes, 100%. The sky's the limit when it comes to our resources. Well, not really the sky's the limit, but we try to give as much as we can. So, and then also here on this podcast, I am working to get a few physicians, or a few guest speakers at least, to come and talk with me or whoever else is on the podcast. So look for that also. We should have an episode out every single month. If not, then 2 episodes per month. We'll see. But other than that, thank you guys so much for listening in and hearing what we have to say. Congrats to everyone for graduating, and for future grads like me and Esma, and for Kelly.
Yes.
And for
yes.
Woo!
Kelly, we'll have you in our prayers, girl.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're doing great. We're all doing great, and congrats to anyone who is graduating this semester or who has already graduated and is listening in. And if you guys want more information on our club, our Bulls Connect and our Instagram are gonna be linked below. I believe it's like a little box that you can put stuff in, but there's gonna be our Instagram, our Bulls Connect, and then also there'll be some more information about Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. So just look for that below, and we will see you next time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Now, here's a quick blooper that I think you guys might enjoy.
All right. How do I stop this?
You should include that in the podcast.
Yeah, no, literally.
like a
As the
quirky
blooper,
BTS.
as the blooper. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I am hopping on again just to say thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the episode, and that all of our resources are going to be linked down below if you want more information on our club. And the sketchy event that was mentioned in the episode, it is going to happen on Tuesday, January 30th at 7:30 p.m. in the MSC. It's an MCAT workshop and will be very beneficial to anyone who wants to go to med school. So hope to see you guys there, and I hope you enjoyed the episode.